Okay, you managed to have one knocked unconscious, you have one grappled, and you have the Glower as being grappled and pinned. And 3 days later, Poppy finally makes it around the house.
Short legs.
Didn't they do a song about short people having no reason to live?
Yeah, and the Muppets.
So, if we're out of combat here, we're just moving forward. Can we assume that we drag like all of them over into like that arrow range, like basically sit them down in that corner or something?
Yeah, we sure can. Okay, you've got them all corralled in the corner, and
And presumably they're all tied up.
yes, you did take the time to tie up the unconscious one, and with a little bit of effort, you managed to tie up the Glower and the other one.
Okay. So I assume like we're all in this area or whatever.
Yeah, just unlocked tokens. And to save a little bit of role playing, this all comes down to he said, she said. Uh, she does have documentation from the Council authorizing her to retrieve this individual. Um, on the flip side, it doesn't say other than he's wanted for treason. That doesn't give any explanation of the charges or what he did as treasonous. Asking her response is, a, you know, most likely he fell out of favor with someone. I don't know the details. They give me a piece of paper and I go fetch them.
Well, falling out of favor with someone isn't exactly treasonous.
Well, in Galt, apparently it is, right? Wasn't he saying that the whole thing's like just complete anarchy and chaos? It's like the French Revolution, basically, with people losing their heads for saying the wrong thing to somebody one day.
Yes, it depends on
And
who's in power.
does Glower have any more role than that in particular? Like, is she part of the organization that's like tracking people down? Is she part of the government or?
She is truly, she's the executioner. And sometimes she goes out and has to retrieve those that she's executing.
So they just send random people to be executioners, or they're like,
Well,
"Hey Bob, why don't you go track down Emily over there and bring her back to kill her?"
think of her as being like part of the militia for the current person in power. If you,
Contractor then.
yeah, contractor on the government payroll.
All right. I'll say, all right, look, I get it, things are chaos and you're just trying to do your job, but I don't, I've spoken to the senator. I don't think that he's worth executing. I don't think that he's done anything wrong for my interrogation of him. I get that you may disagree. On the flip side, it's my judgment of such things, which is the only reason you and your comrades are still alive right now.
And he's basically going to exile himself.
Yes, he won't be going to Tal. He won't be going back to Gald. He'll be exiled.
Let me go. Give me my prisoner, and let me be on my way.
Will you settle for 2 out of the 3?
Uh, yes, I would settle for two of the three.
Okay, which two are you wanting?
Give me my prisoner and get the fuck out of my way.
That wasn't the three options that you mentioned. So let's try this again.
Yes, she is willing to forego taking Emilio.
And not continue to pursue him? Is she willing to call off the hunt and say that she was, stopped in her hunt and some dastardly evil people who hate Galks, helped him escape?
Probably the best that you will get from her is that she will report back to her superiors and tell them what happened, and her next course of action would be up to them.
May I suggest that she not exactly hurry back to report and take a roundabout route on the way back? Check a few more villages for Emilio's presence?
She will make her presence known throughout this area looking for Emilio. I haven't seen him. Better to not find him than to fail.
Yep.
Oh, look at the
Failing,
other
and she'd have to execute herself.
But you tell her which way you're going, and she'll go the opposite way and make sure that people know that she's looking for him.
I realize that Idillion can't really respond right now in Druid, or did you take natural speech? I don't remember. I think you have natural spell, but not natural speech.
Yeah.
So, but I'll look for Idillion to see if he's upset with this, and also Sith, and Poppy, though they can express themselves a bit more eloquently, presumably.
I just shrug my shoulders.
That depends. Has Poppy been drinking?
No, I'm fine with this.
I wasn't here, so I'm good with it.
Okay. So we'll let them be off in the opposite direction and grab the senator and get back to the boat, unless there's other details you want to work out. Presumably, we're now talking to Skywin about Emilio's situation.
Yes. She's more than willing to help the senator. And the senator once again says, we were robbed by bandits, but I will make sure that you are handsomely rewarded for your effort.
Okay.
Okay. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and heal you all back up to normal.
Because I took so much damage in that fight.
Hey, you took the second most damage out of everyone, okay?
Yeah, just be grateful that you got that much. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a scar. Okay, you all get back on the ship and continue, and uh, it's 2 days later, and you're getting close. You're approaching where Taldor is. And that would be. And uh, a couple of days has been uneventful, and in talking with the senator, you figure that you ended up making the right decision. That, after he's had some time to stop and think about it without being scared for his life, he talks about some policies that he backed or didn't back that, you can see how that would anger the powers above him. And you continue on down the river, and one evening, you all spot several globes of light high in the forest.
Oh, great. More will-o-wisps.
And um,
Really?
let's see. Um, everybody on board the ship starts talking about him because, it's a strange occurrence. And the senator comes out of the cabin, and he's really excited, and he said that, the note that he got said that, there would be globes of lights in the treetops when you're getting close to where we'll meet you. And he spots a clearing, and he asks Skywind to put into shore there so he can get off, because he's confident this is where he's supposed to meet them.
Well, I think we're gonna be going along with him just to be on the safe side.
Oh yes, he appreciates that, and I don't know really what to expect, but yes, I would like you there in case something does happen. So, Skywin pulls the boat over, and you all go on shore, and you come up a path a little bit, and you meet the Stardust Augurs, and there's six of them, and they're in your robes and so forth. And let's see. Um, and you see a familiar face come up. Where the hell is he? And I'm going back to the
Who's he looking
shack
for? Who are
map,
we looking for?
and just so I can throw the token on there. But you recognize your old buddy Nestor that you
One of the
saved.
tigers, right from the Lurkers in Light.
Yeah, correct. And he walks up and, hey guys, it's great to see you again.
What are you doing here?
Um, well, that's a long story, but I see you brought the senator and so forth, and he introduces you to the clerics that are around, and um, You know that the Stardust Augurs have like no formal leadership, but one of the individuals that you are introduced to, you have a feeling that in the hierarchy, if there was one, they would be pretty much up to the top. And, you know, they s- greet you warmly and openly, and, you know, one of them takes the senator and they're starting to talk and so forth. And, um, you can overhear the senator talking to one of them, and it's like, well, how did you know that the Revolutionary Council was, you know, setting out to kill me where you could offer help? And she explains that, you know, they had the visions in the dreams and so forth. And um, she turns around and she looks at you, at the group, and she's like, you know, we have received divinations about all of you and your dream quest, and we knew that you were traveling down the river. And um, mhm, let's see. Um, and she tells the senator that overall she wants to escort him to Taldor, where his compassionate political skills will be put to good use. And, you know, they talk politics for a little bit, and they the senator says yes, he'll stay with them and so forth. And while they're talking, uh, the other members of the augurs are talking to you all. They're questioning you about what was the Dreamlands like, about your journey, what did you experience. They want to know anything and everything. Because, you know, they are uh, an organization who studies dreams and portents. So, you know, they're questioning you for the information. We've never been to the Dreamlands ourselves, so, you know, they're very interested.
Do they know how to get to the Dreamlands?
They know that there are spells and rituals, but they're not in any possession they're not in possession of any of those items. And
Generally speaking, what kind of sense do we get about the group now that we're speaking to them? If I need to roll sense motive check, I of course can.
that they're basically a good organization, and them rescuing the senator, and you know, they're doing it for their own political needs, but their needs are for the good. You know, they want to put him back into politics, and they're in Taldor, where, you know, he cares about the people. He's a man of the people. He's an honest one.
Well, I mean, I suppose we can tell them the general gist of what we did in the Dreamlands, but I'll leave out the part about Laos specifically and meeting the Mad Poet, I think. And
Th-
just talk about like the different areas we ranged through, like, you know, we mentioned we were at the lunar prison to like rescue somebody who'd been adopted there. We went through the Pard's Tale and the ghoul's skull and all that kind of stuff without really mentioning the reasons why behind it.
They do ask you if you'd be willing to part with the Dreamlands excursion ritual.
Do we still need that at this point to get back? I mean, is it a knowledge thing, or is it like you need that thing on hand to go into the Dreamlands?
It's actually the actual spell part that you need. Any gold staircase of significant value will work. You probably want to hold on to it.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Unless we give them instructions that they could copy what we have or something.
I don't know if you would
How to do that.
want to trust them with that. And
That's not shady at all.
yeah, Nestor comes over and he's like, when you all rescued me and we parted ways, I ended up returning to Galarian, and I learned through some friends of mine who are allied dreamers that the Stardust Augurs were interested in meeting you. And, I figured I'd come out here and, you know, tell them some tales of your heroics. And, everyone knew that you were on this river traveling here. So, I wanted to thank you for helping me. And he hands you 2 items. And
Poison arrow frog and another poison arrow frog.
he inventory. And he gives you a wand of break enchantment with 34 charges. And there is a ring of protection +2.
Who's
What
giving
do
this
you
to
have,
us?
Poppy? Apparently, Nestor here. Do you just want to drag the Ring of Protection +2 from that magical items thing?
Yeah. Magical items, rings.
It's just called Protection +2.
I got it.
Oh, I went to mute. For some reason, The Rock has got a bunch of stuff in his inventory.
Oh, is that where all the other shit went?
Yeah.
Nice.
Icon, Doom Idol, Red Web Foot.
Oh yeah, that's the
I was the bag of holding for a bit.
yeah, we can delete that because that's the from the Dream Quest.
Yeah.
Alright, since no one else can cast it, I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna grab the Wand of Break Enchantment.
Rock turned into a hoarder for a bit there.
And the senator comes over to you and he's like, I know you're all headed to Casimir, and as soon as we get to Taldor, I will make arrangements to honor my debt to you. And
I'm assuming that the wand is caster level minimum. What is the caster level minimum for the wand?
it doesn't specify.
Unless you object, I would assume that it's effectively either made by a sorcerer, wizard, witch, cleric, or oracle, probably. Would you say that's a fair bet?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so that's going to be caster level 9. Because it could technically be higher caster level, but we assume one of them made it. Won't be.
But he tells you that by the time you all get to Casimir, that if you go to the Temple of Abadar, uh, you'll have a reward there waiting of 10,000 gold pieces.
Oh, mighty obliged.
And you all feel pretty safe. Um, Leaving the senator with the Stardust Augurs.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, did we tell the Stardust Augurs, what was that lady's name? Claire? That she was out there and
Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
you would have exchanged all this information and passed it along and
yeah,
so
what she
forth.
looks like and all that kind of stuff, so they know.
also, I would have mentioned to Nestor that we did run into Kelvetta eventually.
Yes, he'd be very interested in hearing about that, and you relay the story, and he's like, I might have to go check up on her.
Absolutely, and I'm pretty confident she was willing to put that aside to not starve to death in the cell, but if she's relapsed, maybe the senator can figure out how to get back in touch with us.
Uh,
Sorry, and what did Adadar have to do with anything? What's Adadar?
the senator will arrange for your payment to be at the Temple of Adadar when you reach Casimir.
Is that supposed to be Abadar?
Probably.
Okay, because I'm like, Abadar's the god of like merchants and wealth. I'm like, Adadar, that's not ringing a bell.
Yeah, typo. Um, okay, so
Sorry, but with some of these names in these games, sometimes one letter makes a big difference.
I
Okay.
I agree. Okay, you jump back.
Pop. Oh, sorry.
If is there anything else you want to do with the Stardust Augurs?
No, I was just gonna ask Poppy what kind of ring she had.
Are you asking Poppy to marry you, Eric?
No, I'm asking if she has a ring. I need to know if she's single, obviously. But
Eh,
see, look at this finger. You can see a ring on it. I'm obviously spoken for, or that's what I'm going for.
well, I don't think Poppy's here because she's not defending herself.
What type of ring of protection do you have?
I think it's a +1. Yeah, it's a +1.
Alright, I would suggest you grab the ring of protection +2 from the party sheet and then put your old ring back there to sell. Adolian, do you have a ring of protection?
Well,
I'm not sure you could have afforded that because of the wild
probably
armor stuff
not.
we had to do.
Dragonhide plate, pearl of power, cloak of resistance, and scimitar.
Alright, I would take the ring of protection +1 then and grab that for yourself.
And how do we do that? Where is items?
Open the party sheet and then drag the dragon there into your inventory. And then on your combat tab under DEF for deflection, put a +1. Excellent.
Want to ask Nestor here if there's a way to get a hold of his group, but get a hold of his group in case we need to contact him or reference him later or something.
Yes. The Stardust Augurs give you a coin and say, show that to anyone from Taldor and say these words, and they will get a message to us.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to go a little Game of Thrones there. Okay, back on the boat, and you're traveling downstream, downstream, the days tick, tick, tick by, and eventually, Skywind informs you that your journey is coming to an end. You can see the Casimir start to come into view. And let's see. Yes, we will call it a city with 32,000 people.
That ought to do it.
Absolutely.
There's more people there than we've seen in the entire campaign.
I got it. Taldor is actually not a place. It's like a
Station,
state,
isn't it?
state, county. So Casimir is a major trade city, and uh, the ports get all kinds of goods from the inner seas as well as from nations inland. Um, it's home to the imperial shipyards, and um, Skywind sets course for the port and so forth, and she finds an open slip and pulls it in, and she's like, guys, I will be right back. Got to meet with the harbor master and clear everything before we can disembark. And she hops off the ship, and she's gone a little bit, and she comes back, and there's a spring in her step, and she's got this smile on her face. And, you know, it's obvious that she's in a really good mood. And she gets back on board, and she's like, well, the senator's a man of his word. Um, they have paid my docking fees for the next 5 years.
Right.
So I no longer have to pay to unload here. Hallelujah.
Without being so crass as to actually ask this out loud, would we have any idea how much that actually amounts to?
No, you would not.
Because I'm like, I don't know if that's like the equivalent of 50 gold or the equivalent of, 5 billion gold. So
Truly what they've done is they've made an arrangement where she doesn't have to pay.
I'm just trying to figure out how much she's actually saving with that.
Uh, well, she can come here more often now because, you know, she doesn't have to pay that percentage.
Okay.
And she also, the harbor master said that waiting outside is they've been here for a day or two waiting for our arrival, but there are representatives of the Church of Abador. Apparently, they're waiting to see you.
to press
Okay.
buttons.
So,
No, they're the ones that they said they'd give us the 10,000 gold. So
yes. So, you know, you end up meeting with them, and they give you 10,000 gold pieces. And once again, the senator's gratitude. And you all made 2,501 gold piece each for helping out the senator.
hooray!
And gentlemen, you are now firmly, I'm sorry, it's actually a metropolis of Casimir. And everyone is now level 10 except for Eidolon, right?
Yep.
So that finishes out where you need to be. And gentlemen, if you would like to spend your gold, we are at the end of Dreams of the Yellow King.
Okay.
So
Then
from
the
here on
presumably
out,
needs to level up too, right?
I'm sorry.
Presumably Idolian needs to level up as well.
Yeah, Adel needs to level up, and you all can go shopping. And from here on out, we only have the King in Yellow to deal with.
So that was that the end of one of the books, like book
Yes,
3?
that's the end of this book. It sounds
Yep.
like.
We have finished book 3.
Alrighty.
So Wintermute, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So let's say you talking about like ability belts and ability headbands here. So let's say, for example, Poppy has a